Now I call upon student Indra from ACA to present a brief profile about Sri Kaushik Garu, CEO Ramcharan.
Mr. Kaushik Pillai is Managing Director of Ramcharan Company Private Limited, Ramcharan Corporation, Indo-Japan Polymers Private Limited. Kaushik has been involved in moving the group from traditional businesses to new age energy, waste management, energy resources, desalination, and new materials businesses. Ramcharan Company has signed MOU with our university on sustainable waste management. In fact, Mr. Kaushik has promised to provide machinery and R&D facilities for carrying out research in the area of waste management. Very soon, our university is going to receive ethanol plant from Ramcharan Group. We are very thankful for Ramcharan Group, especially its CEO, Sri Ramcharan Garu, for providing support and assistance to the students of engineering and science for carrying out various research in the area of sustainable waste management. We on behalf of our university wish to state that we are very eager to work with the scientists working in Ramcharan Group and wish to be part of co-invention.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dignitaries on the dais, Honorary Vice Chancellor, Professors, Principal Honorary Shivathanu, students, my colleagues from Chennai. We were talking about honoring ISRO. We have an engineer from ISRO right here amongst us who was involved in the rocket launch. I request you to give him a round of applause. So Gokul is from Sriharikota and he was involved in the launch last week. And I had asked Professor Rao some very uncomfortable questions at lunch, which he brought out in his speech, asking him what they want me to speak about, what they want us to speak about. Of course, Professor Pillai knows very well about his subject. But the few things that the student was kind enough to introduce me mentioned, right? We are a company which is based in Chennai, and we do a lot of work in energy, data, food, water, and biotechnology. In terms of holding patents, again, Professor Rao spoke about that, so I'll touch on that. As a company, we have the maximum number of patents in India. We hold 113. And we have a product plan for the next 10 years to launch products coming from that. But for 113 patents, we have had more than 8 million failures in our experiments in the last 8 years. Even the ethanol project, which we briefly spoke about and we were talking about before lunch, we've had 563 failures in that product before we actually managed to hit something which worked. And as students who are looking at entrepreneurship and going out into the real world, that's the first thing which you'll have to face, failure. It is going to hit you very hard and it is going to come at you on a daily basis. And the littlest of things that you do and the biggest of things that you try to achieve. But you'll have to overcome that. And one point which I brought up with Mr. Rao is that we don't teach our students to fail. We don't teach them how to cope with failure. Because everybody looks at success, right? If you've watched movies about sports people, Dhoni or Sachin or so many of them around, they talk about the failures and how they overcame that. Now in India, which is one of the most crowded countries in the world, competition starts at the age of 2, where to get an admission in a kindergarten seat, there are 300 children per seat in India, which is a statistic that nobody can disprove because it is too big to really talk about. But competition starts over there. Even if you don't compete, your parents are competing to give you that seat and then they eventually pay a price. To cross the road in India is a competition. To get out from your house and go to the college, you have to navigate the roads, there's competition over there. And then eventually to build a product which finds space in the market, you will have to compete. And by the time you get successful, you'll have hair like me. I looked like that about 3 years ago, and now this is what I look like, right? So the most important thing which I would like to bring to you people today is the importance of dealing with failure, which is very not very known in India or anywhere else in the world. And the fact that you'll have to constantly keep overcoming it to build a product which works. You could build anything. You could build even a light bulb which works better than the next light bulb. But you will have to hit 100 failures in terms of product, people, placement, pricing before you get there. And that should not undermine you. Now when a college like this launches a club where you have interaction, where you have education going on, but you have so many people-to-people interactions, the most important takeaway for you will be the fact that you have experienced people running it and their experience of handling failures and dealing with an environment which is not conducive is something which you have to learn from so that you don't get bogged down, and that's very, very critical. India holds multiple patents in many different fields and different products all over the world. There are a lot of Indian technocrats, technology people heading most technology companies worldwide. Pick anyone, Google, Alphabet, Microsoft, whatever. It's all run by Indians. And our ability to deal with a lot of noise which can take out your focus, a lot of issues which challenge your confidence, and to come out successful is very important. And one thing which you will learn, and this is one place where you can afford to make a failure. Because the university is not going to punish you. Life is not going to punish you here. In the real world, failure, you pay a price for it. You get demoted in a job, you lose money in a business, or you lose a product altogether. But so, make those experiments, deal with those failures, even if you're building any one product, make sure you're good at it, and do not aim for anything which is less than world class. Dr. Pillai here is an example of that. When he started his journey, they did not have, I think, any infrastructure, leave alone what they had. There was nothing. There was just a vision, and there was the ability. They wanted to reach to the stars, and they have reached it today, where it has become a habit. What has been a big success for the country, Chandrayaan last week, it is yet to be successful. It has to reach the moon and land safely. After that, we'll call it a success. But now it has become common because as they progress, they dealt with so many failures on the way. There's so many documentaries which have come up now which explain that. But as an organization, they did not lose their vision of making the world's best competitively cost satellites, which India is doing today, which 20 years ago nobody would have thought is possible in India. And 20 years ago, if somebody had told you that Sony as a company would not exist, we would have believed it, right? Today Sony is wiped out, ISRO is very successful because we know how to deal with failures. That's my quick message to you. All the best, do well and enjoy yourself. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Experiences, sir. Now I call upon Shri from Civil Engineering Department to present a brief profile about Professor K. Raja Reddy.
Good afternoon, one and all my dignities and my fellow friends. Professor K. Raja Reddy did his MA in History with Southeast Asian Studies as specialization at Shri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, and prosecuted research on the problems of national unification of Vietnam for the doctorate degree. Having joined the Center of Southeast Asian and Pacific Studies at SP University as assistant professor in 1985 to become associate professor in 1992 and professor in 2000. Besides teaching and researching, he served the center as Chairman, Board of Studies from 1998 to 2001, as the Director for the Center for Southeast Asian and Pacific Studies for 2 terms. As the Director of the Center, he elevated its image to national and international levels. His visits to countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and United States enabled the centers to sign MOUs with some of the reputed institutions of the representative countries. The Center of Southeast Asian and Pacific Studies became a well-known source materials for the countries of Southeast Asian and Pacific study area. Professor Shri Raja Reddy Garu published 5 books, and his published works are well recognized by the scholars in India and abroad. He was nominated to accompany the Indian government delegation to Vietnam and Malaysia. Besides, he attended many conferences in India and abroad, as well as organized international conferences in the center. Thank you.
To distinguished guest, Padmabhushan Dr. Shivathanu Pillai, guest of honor Shri Kaushik, Principal History College of Engineering, Professor R.B.S. Satyanarayana, Marmar Vice Chancellor Professor Murli Garu, Dean R&D Professor Vijay Bhaskar Rao, Honorary Tirupati members, dear students, print and electronic media, and other distinguished guests who are invited to this meeting. On behalf of the university, I am really thankful to Padmabhushan Dr. Shivathanu Pillai for accepting our invitation to give a special talk on opportunities for the development and launch of small satellites. I sincerely wish that your talk will inspire and motivate the students of our university to design and develop small satellites with your assistance and cooperation. As you all know, that Shri Venkateswara University, established in 1954 to cater to the educational needs and aspirations of the people of the Rayalaseema region of Andhra Pradesh. After completing 68 years of excellence in teaching, research, extension, and outreach activities, the university is committed to cater to the needs of higher education, offering a full range of postgraduate programs in arts, science, law, management, education, physical education, engineering, and pharmacy disciplines. Shri Venkateswara University figured in all the international and national rankings like Times Higher Education, QS, and NIR rankings. Shri Venkateswara University also got distinct Green Champion Award for Swachhata Action Plan, adopted and implemented best practices in the area of sanitation, hygiene, water management, water energy management, and greenery management by Ministry of Education, Government of India for the year 2021-22. In recent years, we have witnessed a remarkable surge in the demand for small satellite technology, driven by advancements in miniaturization and increased access to space. Small satellites have revolutionized various domains, including communication, weather forecasting, disaster management, and scientific research. They offer cost-effective solutions, rapid deployment, and a wide range of applications that were once unimaginable. Professor Padmabhushan, Shivathanu Pillai, with his expertise and experience in the field of aerospace technology, is well equipped to shed light on the tremendous opportunities that lie ahead. His involvement in BRAHMOS airspace, a pioneer in the field of supersonic cruise missiles, underscores his deep understanding of cutting-edge technology and their potential for innovation. His insights into the development and launch of small satellite will undoubtedly provide our students and faculty with valuable perspectives and the challenges and possibilities in this existing domain. Our university is committed to academic excellence. We constantly strive to nurture an ecosystem that encourages research, innovation, and entrepreneurial thinking. Through the events like these, we aim to bridge the gap between academia and the industry, fostering collaborations that can translate theoretical knowledge into practical solutions. Our students and faculty members will have the opportunity to interact with Dr. Padmabhushan Shivathanu Pillai and again insights that can shape their career and inspire to push the boundaries of knowledge. As Vice Chancellor, I hope that Shri Venkateswara University will be able to develop microsatellite for telemedicine and prediction of lightning by the end of this year 2023. Shri Venkateswara University has been constantly striving for excellence in research and development. I am the Managing Director of Ramcharan Group, Mr. Kaushik, with the help of University to start incubation center in the area of integrated waste management. We have already had a memorandum of understanding with this institute, and I am hoping for future development of the programs. I am very happy that today 2 student activities clubs have been inaugurated: Rotaract, SU University Engineering Club, and Prakruti Swarcha Club. I wish the students to actively participate in such extension activities, which will help them in molding leadership, problem solving, and team work skills in this university. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.